Good day everyone, my name is Carmel Arbaca. Today's lesson is finding out how to implement inclusive practices in the classroom. Inclusive education is an ongoing collaborative process that needs to be dynamically revisited. For it truly work, its essence has to resonate to all stakeholders of education. Stakeholders are the teachers, administrators, school staff, official and other workers, the parents and their families, the community, and the government. So what stakeholders can do to be able to fulfill the right of education to those children with additional needs? The following are some steps stakeholders can take to create inclusive cultures. Set the parameters for inclusion, build key people, identify and eradicate barriers. So what are these barriers? The first barriers are the attitudes, value system, misconceptions, and social norms. Physical barriers, curriculum, lack of teacher training and low teacher efficacy, poor language and communication, lack of funding, lack of policies, organization of the educational system, too much focus on performance-based standards. So part of what needs to occur with creating culture is to also determine distinctions among frameworks and practices and understand how different special education, mainstreaming, and inclusive education are from each other. Mainstreaming shares more similarities with inclusion than with special education. Both look at integrating the child with additional needs into a general education setting. However, special education assesses, instructs, and evaluates students individually and intentionally. This type of educational setting is beneficial to those with very unique needs as well. Now let's have a look on evolving inclusive practices. Two effective evidence-based inclusive practices that can be used in the classroom are universal design for learning and differentiated instruction. Universal design for learning, or the UDL, in this practice, teachers are supposed to present information and materials in many different ways, taking into consideration that some students may have not fully absorbed the lesson the first time it was presented. So the concept of UDL principles meant to ensure that all students are able to access and understand learning material, and teachers uses different techniques to reinforce learning at the students' optimal levels. The second one is we have the differentiated instruction. This practice helps ensure that learners are engaged in respectful tasks and provides diverse means of learning that reflect their strengths and address their needs simultaneously. Bender in 2002 identified elements of the curriculum that can be differentiated. First, these are the content, process, product, and learning environment. As teachers, you must know your curriculum. You are expected to know your students' interest, readiness and level, learning styles, profiles. Then, you have to identify and plan what and how to differentiate your material. The goal is to start small and take simple steps toward differentiating instruction.